Hey guys, Brian with Cajun Cardboard coming at you from the great state of Louisiana. Today we have episode number 42 of Rockstar's Refractor. It is a 1997 Topps insert. It is a die cut. It is a parallel because it's a refractor. One more great Jordan card for us to look at. Those of you who are watching this for the first time on the Luca Nation Network, be aware, I've got a whole bunch of episodes saved in my playlist on the old Cajun Cardboard channel. Go subscribe to that if you haven't yet. All of you Cajun Cardboard channel veterans and subscribers, please be aware that from now on, all of these Explore the Card episodes will be appearing on Friday evening, same time as always, every week, but they'll be appearing on the Luca Nation Network. So if you watch my Cajun Cardboard channel for the last 9 to 10 months, please go ahead and subscribe to the Luca Nation Network to catch tons of great new content, these Explore the Card episodes, all the PWCC auction recap videos that I put out, and much, much, much more. Anyway, let's not waste any more time. Let's get cranking. We are talking about the card you see on your screen. It is the 1997 Rockstars Refractor. Beautiful card, die cut card. We're going to get into the details and the aesthetics of it in just a bit. The first thing we always do with these Explore the Card episodes is start by looking at the set that these inserts come from. And so that is, I've got on your screen the 1997 Topps base set. It is a 220 card checklist. Series 1 was cards 1 through 110, and Series 2 were cards 111 through 220. Obviously in 1997, the big rookies you're looking for are Tim Duncan and T-Mac. They are the two most sought after by far. There are some other really good players, but none of them have really had a lasting collector base in the hobby like Duncan and McGrady. Jordan is card number 123 in this base set. Let me see if I can dig him up. There he is. That is what the 1997, come on now, 1997 Topps Jordan base card looks like in PSA 10 condition. This is an $80 to $90 card. It's a big pop. It's pop 657. There's probably more coming, but that is what the Jordan card looks like from the base. There's also a minted in Springfield parallel of that base and an O-Pee-Chee parallel of that base. The minted in Springfield is an extremely rare pop 30. The O-Pee-Chee is an almost astounding pop 2. So if you happen to catch a minted in Springfield accidentally listed as a PSA 10 card number 123 base Topps paper, congrats to you, because the minted in Springfield is significantly more valuable and the O-Pee-Chee is crazy, crazy rare at only a pop 2. The most notable insert sets, and again, I'm always using Trading Card Database for these videos. It's just an invaluable resource for set information, checklists, insert sets, pack odds, and things like that. I've got the insert sets pulled up on your screen here. There's 14 total insert sets. The most notable ones that feature Jordan are Bound for Glory, Generations, which also has a refractor, Rockstars, which has a base and a refractor, both die cut, Topps 40, and then Season's Best. So those are the 5 that feature Jordan. Those are probably the most recognizable inserts from 1997 Topps. There are two parallel sets here. The minted in Springfield, which I just mentioned. Those are pretty rare. They're 1 in 6 packs and 1 in 9 Series 2 packs. The two checklists don't have a parallel. They have a Basketball Hall of Fame minted in Springfield copper foil stamp on the front, but some copies actually have a gold stamp on the front. So it's the same thing. They were meant to be the same thing, but it was kind of an error apparently in the printing, and so some appear with copper, some appear with gold. There is also the O-Pee-Chee, which were aforementioned. They were released in Canadian packs, and so they're 1 in 3 Series 1 packs in Canada, and then for they were 1 in 3 Series 2 packs in Canada for Series 2. So about a 1 in 3 rate there. But the Jordan is a very rare, very difficult to obtain pop 2 in PSA 10 for the O-Pee-Chee parallel. There are 20 Rockstars refractors. 2 things I need to make note, because if you're searching for these cards, you're going to need to find these. Rockstars is 2 words, and it is stars plural, so it's rock stars refractors. Let's look those up. Let's pull up the checklist. There are 20 in here. We always like to examine the constituent parts of these insert sets to determine how many of these guys are Hall of Famers. How solid is this insert set top to bottom? There's 20 players in the insert set, 15 are Hall of Famers. That's a 75% Hall of Fame rate. That's legit. That's a super high number compared to a lot of these other ones. Scoring Kings comes to mind. That's a 9 out of 10. But for a 20 card insert set to be 15 out of 20 Hall of Famers and 75% Hall of Fame rate, that makes it a very collectible, very good set chase worthy insert set. Probably the weakest players out of the 20 players is Damon Stoudemire, Mighty Mouse, Jerry Stackhouse, Tom Gugliotta, and Juwan Howard. And by no means were those four guys slouches during their era. All four very good players, put up great numbers, had great NBA careers. A lot of those guys are slept on. They don't have a huge collector base, but hell, those are four of the five non-Hall of Fame players in there. And of course, Penny Hardaway's in there as well as the fifth. These cards have refractor printed in very small print right above the card number in the lower back right of the card. So this is one of those cards where they actually printed whether the card's on a refractor. We see these posts on Facebook and Instagram all the time. Hey, I've got this card. I can't tell. Is it a refractor? And then they post a picture. Well, obviously Topps, a couple other companies at one point made this a lot easier by just printing the damn word refractor on there so people don't have to ask that question anymore. Personally, it's very easy to tell the difference between a base and a refractor if you're holding them in your hand. But I guess some people who are new to the hobby or don't have quite as much experience looking at the refractors, because they're a little bit more rare, or a lot more rare, don't know the difference between the two. So Topps printed the word refractor on this one. There's a Topps Rockstars base and a Topps Rockstars refractors, and both are die cut. The refractors are much harder to pull. The base were 1 in 36 Series 1 packs, okay? Remember, all Rockstars, base or refractor, only Series 1. So if you're trying to chase these down in boxes, only Series 1, you're not going to pull it from Series 2. The Rockstars base were 1 in 36 Series 1 packs, which makes MJ 1 in 720 packs. The Rockstars refractor was 1 in 144 Series 1 packs, making MJ 1 in 2,880 packs. So that means the refractors were 4 times more difficult to find than the base, or they appeared 1/4 as often, let's put it that way, when you're ripping packs. Card description, let's see. I have got mine pulled up. I always come to you guys from a perspective of transparency, or at least I try to. If I don't, it's because of oversight, not because I'm trying to hide something. I own the Rockstars refractor in PSA 10 condition. This is my particular copy that's sitting nice and safe in my vault at PWCC. There's a lot more to this card than most people realize. It's a die cut card. It's intricately cut at the top, die cut, so it's not a pure, true, easy corners, die cut. It is in the shape of the rocks that are at the top of the card. Every letter from the word rock is on a separate rock of its own, and then stars just kind of pops with that bright yellow font. In the bottom right, it's almost like Space Jam type lettering. If you look down there, the M and the J have a little bit different font. And then the Eichel and the Orden have a little bit more traditional font. And Jordan's shooting a nice little, it looks like a nice little pull-up, but it could possibly be, and it most likely is, one of his patented fadeaways, as Bobby Jackson and Corliss Williamson, two pretty good players from the 90s, look on in the background. Corliss Williamson's Arkansas Wings team actually won the national championship the year my AAU team from Louisiana, shout out to the Louisiana Breeze, went to San Antonio for the AAU National Championships, back when the AAU National Championships actually meant something. Nowadays, it means absolutely nothing because all of the best players are playing on shoe circuits, Nike, Adidas, Under Armour, etc. Let's check out the back of the card. It's just a nice bust picture of Michael Jordan with the M and the J in red. There's the printed word refractor in the bottom right above the card number, as I referenced earlier in this video. Jordan has been chosen to play in every NBA All-Star game of his career, except the 2 Februaries in which he was retired. I'm not sure I would put an apostrophe there. I don't know. I've never used the word Februaries plural. The most valuable player of the 1988 and 1996 games, he is the all-time All-Star points per game leader with 21.1. So that's what the back of the card looks like. Again, it's got that kind of rock background there with Jordan there, and then his stats in his 10 All-Star games. I don't know really what this, why they have the All-Star game stats on here instead of his regular season stats, but they do. So it's time. Let's give the people what they want, and here it is. This is your pop and price data table. If you've got a phone, take a picture. If you can hit the print screen button for your screen, then hit it. It is the PSA 10, the BGS 9.5, so the two gems, and then PSA and BGS 9, the two mints. As always, this is your table. What stands out to me, the first thing really that stands out to me is that, you know, for a die cut refractor card that's really a tough pack pull, 21% seems like a pretty high gem rate. So if you look in that third column, first row, PSA 10s have a 21% gem rate. So more than 1 out of 5 grades of PSA 10. Now, again, that probably doesn't give you a great estimate of what a new one that you submit today would be graded, because A, those cards have been in circulation for 26 years almost, and B, PSA is grading a hell of a lot harder today than they were back in 1998 or 99 or 2004 or whenever one would likely believe that most of these 277 were submitted to PSA. So that gem percentage might be a little misleading. You should probably keep that in mind for all of these pop tables and all of these gem percentages that I'm sharing with you guys, that PSA doesn't necessarily grade the same today that they did in 1999. Anybody who disagrees, you've got a lot to learn about this hobby, because I can vouch myself with 10,000 plus submitted to PSA, probably 15 or 20,000 submitted. They definitely don't grade now like they did in the early 2000s. So don't let that gem rate fool you. Don't expect 1 out of 5 to grade PSA 10. Sold price. The last one, last PSA 10 sold for $5,000. The last BGS 9.5 sold for $1,750. So a little bit, a shade over or just shy of 3x disparity between the PSA 10 and the BGS 9.5. Again, the BGS 9.5 is going to depend on subgrades or whatever. And another thing that stands out about this table, you'll see, it should stand out to you as well. Somebody paid $17,100 for a PSA 10 copy of this card. And I did confirm it was right at the height of the bubble here. We can even pull it up on Card Ladder. Let's get a look here at what the PSA 10 card has done over the last 6 months. It's up 29% over the last 6 months, which we're about to see on that table. But if we go back to 2 years, you'll see this is where somebody decided to set an all-time record that won't be broken anytime soon in March of 2021. So the absolute height, epitome, peak of the 2021 first quarter bubble, $17,100 was that sale. And since then, obviously, it's come back down and sort of matriculated, but pretty much steadied out. Specifically over the last 6 months, it's steadied out and even risen a little bit, just depending on the copy. So last one sold at $5,040, which is the highest of the last 6 sales. So that's a good sign for holders of this card, myself included. Going back to our pop chart here, let's look at what else might stand out. As we said, 29% growth rate over the last 6 months for the PSA 10, whereas the BGS 9.5, the PSA 9, and the BGS 9 are down over the last 6 months. So PSA 10 is performing well. The other grades not necessarily can be said. The other thing that stands out is a hell of a lot of people took a swing at this for a PSA 9. And so this is kind of what I was indicating. 8 new PSA 10s, 45 got PSA 9s. We have no clue how many PSA 8s or 7s. I could go look it up, but I don't have that in front of me. Gem rate might be a great option for you guys if you want to find out how many of these cards get 8s and 7s. But 8 new PSA 10s have been added since April of 2021, and 4 BGS 9.5s have been added since April of 2021. My guess, just basically looking at these numbers and adding up the gems and the mints, it looks like 53 were graded with PSA and 11 were added for BGS. So that would lead me to believe that more people are trying to grade this card with PSA than with BGS, probably due to the drastic price disparity, as we talked about, almost 3x. So that's what we've got for the table. There are 4 BGS 10s for those of you interested. Yes, if you want to kind of take a step above even a PSA 10, there are 4 BGS 10s. There are no BGS 10 black labels. There are 176 combined gem copies between PSA and BGS, as you can see over here on your screen in the left-hand column. We always look at that. You know, if a card has more than 100, we almost certainly, or I almost certainly, try to get that card in a PSA 10 or a BGS 9.5 as a way to sort of do my own pop control. PSA 9 and BGS 9, you're starting to get into the 300s and 400s of how many of them are available, including the gem mints that are graded higher. So I like to stick in the gem mint category for cards like this, which is why you saw the PSA 10 that I have in my vault right now. Combined, these cards in gem mint condition have sold 12 times over the last 6 months. So you're looking at about 2 a month. So if you want to pick up a gem mint copy, they're there to be had. And you know, that's obviously, you know, there's 176 of them out there. So you're going to find one here and there whenever you need it at a reasonable price, it would appear. So what's on eBay? We always look and see what's on eBay. If I wanted to find this card on eBay, I typed in 1997 Topps Rockstars Refractor Michael Jordan. Again, I'm not an expert on eBay searches. I guess there's ways to make sure you catch all of those listings where maybe Rockstar instead of Rockstars, or Rockstar combined, one word comes out instead of 2 words. So just be careful when you're searching. I don't want you guys to miss one if you're looking for the card. But as you can see, we've got a bunch pulled up. Big Boy Sports Cards, one of the bigger sellers on eBay, has one right here pulled up, and it's a auction, which is pretty rare nowadays. So it's an eBay auction for a really big Michael Jordan card. It looks like it is a mixed gem, just based on that, at $12.25 with 2 days left. So this one's going to end before this video airs. This video will air on Friday of this week, which would be 27, 28, 29, the 30th of September, last day of the month in real estate. So I will be very busy. You can see there's plenty of options here if you're chasing the mint copies or the PSA 8 copies. Burbank's got an 8.5. There's a BGS 9. Here's a PSA 10. Michael Jordan Rockstars Refractor for $5,995. That's really not bad. The last one sold for $5,000. This one's $5,995, and it accepts offers. So no greening. It does look crystal clear. Not sure who the seller is, but worth taking another look. And then another 9, another 9.5 for $2,500, another 9.5. So just keep that in mind. That's what's available on eBay. What about boxes? This is going to be a pain in the ass. So remember, it's only in Topps Series 1 boxes. I didn't type in 1, but if I type in 1 here, that'll lower this from 62 search results to much fewer. Yeah, 39. But you got to realize it's also going to pull up Topps Finest. It's also going to pull up packs. So just be careful if you're searching. You're searching for basic Topps, right? You're not searching for Topps Chrome or Topps Finest. You're searching for Topps Series 1. That's where your Rockstars Refractors are going to be pulled, people. What do I own and what grade? As I said, I own the PSA 10. I am holding it for Cajun Eternity. That's copyrighted. Don't use it. Cajun Eternity is like Real Eternity, only it's for Cajuns. I'm not looking to sell this card. This card is exactly the card that I was looking for. I'm not looking to buy another copy. I'm not looking to really use it as an investment tool and pick up a duplicate. I'm certainly not looking to sell it because I'm trying to grow my Jordan collection with a unique copy, especially if it's in gem mint condition, of as many Jordan inserts and parallels as I can get from the 90s. So I am a very, very firm hold on this. I'm not buying and I'm not selling. The card, how does it break down in the 4 grades that we looked at here on our prop and price data table? The PSA 10 is a mid-level card, but just barely, which is funny because it was a very strong high-level card at one point, as you can see from that $17,000 sale. So the PSA 10 fits in that mid category, which is $5,000 to $10,000, but barely. On the next one, who knows, because of the declining market, it might not sell in that mid category. It might drop back into the low category, which I categorize as $5,000 and below. Again, I'm not saying $5,000 is a low-end card generally speaking, but in the Michael Jordan market, you get my drift, right? $5,000 doesn't get you very far. So the BGS 9.5, the PSA 9, and the BGS 9 are all in that low-end category, less than $5,000, and comfortably so. What are some other cards that are comparable from a price standpoint? If you're looking to spend $5,000 on a Jordan card, obviously the Rockstars Refractor that we looked at today on this card ladder chart, there's one option. What are some other options at or near $5,000? We always look at 3 cards. Card number 1, the Dunkin' Go Nuts, as you see on your screen. Issue with this card, and I just did a PWCC auction recap where there was a relatively yellow version you're looking to make sure the card's surface is crystal clear and it has not yellowed or oranged up. And this one looks good on the screen, but the only way to really tell is to put a slip of white paper behind the card and see what it looks like. So that's a Pop 61 card, right at $5,000, somewhere near the same price as our Rockstars. Option number 2 is the Warp Speed, which you guys know I'm a huge fan of, and I'm already giving away my answer. You guys know what I'm going to say. And then the last one is this 1994 Finest Michael Jordan Refractor with coating. Believe it or not, there's almost 3 times as many with coating as without coating, which is really odd. It's actually more than 3 times, right? 41 and 147. So yeah, so almost 4x, like 3.5x as many with the coating PSA 10s as without. And usually it's the opposite. Usually it's easier to grade it without the coating, but there's a lot of people out there that prefer these cards with the coating. So those are your 4 options in or about that $5,000 price range. The order that I would select these cards, I would go with the Warp Speed first. This has always been one of my very favorite Jordan insert cards from the 90s. It's not the most valuable, it's not the rarest, it's not the most expensive, it's not the hardest to find. There's just something about this card. I don't know if it's the Concord 11s, I don't know if it's the tongue out, I don't know if it's the freaking Star Wars background, but there's something about this card that calls to me. I would choose the Warp Speed first with my $5,000. The second would be the Dunkin' Go Nuts. As long as I could find a clear copy and not a yellowing copy, I would take the Dunkin' Go Nuts second. There's something really cool about that card, and the coloring on there is just really cool to me. And then I would take the Rockstars Refractor that we're talking about today as my third option. And we've already talked about that pop in data, and that's a Pop 59 in PSA 10. It's about a $5,000 card. And then the last one would be the Finest Refractor with coating. It's a much higher population card. It's just not as visually appealing of a card, in my opinion. I would actually rather want the card without the coating because I've always been the peel guy. I think the card refracts when you take the coating off, and it doesn't refract when you leave the coating on. I know that probably is a dichotomy in the hobby where the hobby is split on peel or no peel. We've been through all that stuff before. But I'm also a guy who's always inserts over parallels, except for the PMGs, right? So I'm always going to almost always choose inserts over a parallel. That's just the way I collect. Again, everybody's free to collect their own way. I give this card a 6 out of 10 on the Cajun Cardboard Jordan scale of relevance. I think it's probably a 6 out of 10, maybe a 6.5 if you really wanted to push it. It's about a $5,000 card, so it's barely a low end, barely a mid-end card. I do like the fact that it's a refractor, so it's a parallel insert technically because it's an insert, the Rockstars Refractor, and then it's a parallel of the base Rockstars base insert. And so it's an insert parallel. It's intricately die cut at the top. I do like the aesthetics of it. I like the card. I think the card's a pretty solid 6, maybe 6.5 out of 10. Let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know in the comments what order you would choose of the 4 cards that we just looked at today. Let me know if there's any Jordan inserts or parallels out there from the 80s or 90s that I have not featured that you guys would like to see me feature. I can't promise you I will implement your request immediately, but I'll put it in the queue for sure. I do not have any shortage of future episodes of this. As you guys know, there's tons of great options for 80s and 90s Jordan cards that are out there. I try to kind of keep you guessing. Sometimes crazy high-end grail cards that very few people will ever attain just because it's fun to look at monster cards and talk about them. And then sometimes, kind of the low-end stuff that anybody and everybody could afford in one grade or another that's out there, just to kind of educate and entertain you guys with some more attainable type Jordan cards as well. So this one kind of falls somewhere in the middle. But if there's a card in particular that any of the viewers would like me to feature, just let me know what it is and I'll do my best to go pull it up, as long as I can track down all of the data necessary to make the video. Again, I want to reiterate, you're going to find these Explore the Card episodes every Friday. It's great for would-be or new Jordan collectors that are just hesitant to dip their toes in the water. I've got 30-something episodes on my Cajun Cardboard channel in the playlist. It's real simple. Click it, binge watch it, and you can learn all about Michael Jordan cards. All of my future episodes of Explore the Card, you're going to catch them right here on the Luca Nation Network. I appreciate you guys watching as always. Happy to be a part of the Luca Nation Network and meet some of you new subscribers and see some of your kind comments. I do appreciate it. I'm trying to do my best and get a little bit better each day. My whole purpose is to educate and entertain, educate you, educate myself making these videos, and then try to make them as entertaining as humanly possible. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Keep collecting, stay positive in the hobby, and peace.